Welcome back here at 9:43. Most kids are now back in school and they're already gearing up for those standardized tests. The scores from last year are now in. So the question for you parents at home is, how did your child do? What happens if your child does not meet the required standards? Well, for that, we've got education attorney Adam Wasserman, who is here to break down the 3 things that you should know about your child's California standardized test scores. Good morning to you and welcome to the show, Adam.
Thank you so much for having me.
So I was just asking, so parents at this point should have those test scores. They were mailed probably by the end of the summer since kids are back in school. What do they look like? Should parents...
Well, that's the thing. When it's test day, everybody knows about it. Everybody's ready. An enormous amount of resources go into preparing for these tests and giving them. Then they kind of fall by the wayside afterwards. But you know, I know my family got theirs in August, and what you get is a letter, small return address on it. It's 2 sides. You got graphs on one side, you got information on the other, and basically you want to know is if your child met the standards for that subject matter, math, science, and language arts, whether they did not meet the standards or whether they exceeded the standards.
And I'm glad you described what the test scores look like, because for moms and dads out there, it's possible your child took it, kind of shredded it, or is hiding it, whatever the case may be. Hey, if you got a C and you have to come to terms with the fact that you're struggling and your parents recognize that, what is the first step?
Well, you see, that's what people don't get. It's not the kind of test that matters on your report card. And as a matter of fact, these tests measure something different. When you get like a grade in science or chemistry in elementary school grade, those grades are about participation, homework, getting there on time, being a good citizen, and then you got the tests somewhere factored in there. And that's why sometimes you get kids who are passing grade to grade, but they don't know what they're doing.
And once you get these scores, let's talk about the right to receive the free help. What do you mean by that?
Well, may I say something? So the thing about these scores is, and I was speaking with my colleague who's a psychometrician at UCLA over the weekend, these scores are an objective measure of subject mastery.
Right.
How well do I know math? How well do I know science? Has nothing to do with attendance, participation. So what these scores do is they don't penalize you. They say what you're expected to know for that subject matter when you get to that point in time of your life. So,
but Adam, I need parents to know that there is help out there,
well,
because they've already got the scores. So let's get to point 1, the right to receive free help. You can get free help as far as tutoring after school. You can pay out of pocket for a tutor, right?
Right.
What other kind of help
you know,
for
the
parents?
thing is, at Education Justice Law, which is my law firm in Southern California, I get this question 12 times a week. You've got 2 populations. You've got your general education population, the kids that just drive down the middle of the road. You know how they're going to do, you know where they're going to end up. And then there's our outliers. And the outliers make us ask all the questions about education. So let's say you get your math CAS test back and it says, does not meet expectations.
Then what?
Well, that's a flag. And the flag is this the first time I'm seeing it? Did this happen last year? Did my child struggle with this subject last year? So the issue is, do you know if your child's struggling? Have you brought attention to it to the school? Has the school failed to help you? And if they have, look, this is the walk of my life. This is why I do this work. If you let the school know your kid is falling behind and struggling and suffering, be it ADHD, dyslexia, bullying causes great interference with these things. Processing problems.
You have the right to accommodations is what I want to point out.
I'm getting right there.
When you go to the school, and I believe we have a graphic so I can show them. It's extra time for exams. It's breaks during exams, right?
Well, accommodations are part of the big picture. So, look, our law says children have the right to meet their potential in no uncertain terms. And if a child is falling behind and not meeting their potential, we have 2 very big bodies of law in this country, Section 504 and the IDEA. And our Supreme Court says our children must be given appropriately ambitious objectives and meaningful goals when it comes to their education. And the school districts owe that to the families of all children. Everyone gets a right to do well. And if the school district's not doing their job and mom and dad have to reach in their pocket and pay for it, They have a right to ask for it
All
back.
right, Adam, thanks so much for that. Great tips. The last tip I want to leave you with is the right to opt your child out of state testing.
Right.
So for more, we'll go ahead and get that all on our website. It is 9:48. Vanessa, what's coming up? Thanks.
All right, those are some good tips. Thank you, Rita. And we have some breaking news we do want to keep you updated on. Former Senator John Kyle just got word he is going to be replacing the late Senator John McCain. He's going to be taking over the term in the Senate for Senator John McCain. That is John Kyle. All right, modern dating has all new rules. The most confusing, who pays on a date? We have an opinion on that. We're going to have that story coming up and more on Senator John Kyle.